I said, he ain't gonna look right, like one of them damn fairies with a rabbit in a window. Or that. When I first built this, I had all the controls up front.
You want to unhook that front hood?
It will roll right over. It should. It always has. This time, it might not.
I think it was Ron Mancini when he blew that transmission up, that torque flight. That was a pile of transmission parts about that high and about that wide, right underneath the car. I mean, when that torque flight come undone, it was amazing.
E.J. Potter was up there in the Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary was a motorcycle with a small block Chevy mounted sideways on it. Well, Bristol was short, and in the shutoff area, you had to turn and go up a hill. Well, EJ was having trouble slowing the bike down enough and you know, being able to lean into it to make that curve. So he came up with the bright idea. He went to an Army Navy surplus store and bought a parachute. You know, like a paratrooper parachute. Puts it on, he comes up to the starting line, he's getting ready to fire the Bloody Mary up and make a pass, and Buster was looking around. Now, I wasn't on the starting line then, I was too young, but I remember hearing the story 100 times. You know, Daddy was like, the fuck? And he's like, no.
You know what's going to happen
No.
here?
Yeah, and EJ's like, what? You know, Daddy's like, well, you ignorant son of a bitch. What do you think's gonna happen when that chute deploys and the air hits it? The Bloody Mary is gonna keep going and your stupid ass is gonna bounce.
Come gather around. Got a few new things this year. First of all, thanks to everybody coming to the annual Horton Race Cars Cookout at this beautiful facility of Matt and Kelly Cooks. Looks like the weather's held out, and we're going to do something a little different before we eat this year. We're going to have some awards. And these awards are brought to us this year by Matt and Kelly Cook and Skip and Jeffrey Walls at Locar. And we also want to acknowledge Randy Herpel and Drag Racing's Golden Era. He's here today filming, and you know that the events come a big deal when Randy's here. This is really cool. So, first of all, we're going to have the Long Distance Award, and it's very fitting that this goes to our spiritual leader in nostalgia drag racing, Mr. Steve Gibbs. And to present this award, we've got another all-star here, Mr. Steve Earwood.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge Matt and Kelly Cook and J Ed Horton for doing this. This is just incredible that they make this facility available and feed us and all this stuff. So let's hear thanks for J Ed and Matt, Kelly. Thank you so much. I was fortunate enough to work for Wally Parks for a number of years, and Steve Gibbs was there at the time. Other than Wally Parks, there's not one individual more responsible for drag racing where we are today than Steve Gibbs. People have no idea that what he did back in the day. Primarily, he was the buffer between the pro racer and NHRA. Now, some of you racers may realize that it wasn't always moonlight and roses with NHRA and the pro racer, but Gibbs was the guy that did an explanation why racers are the way racers are, explained to racers why NHRA is the way NHRA is, and just can never thank him enough for that. He's the first guy to realize how valuable concrete starting pads are. He invented the bleach box. He did so many things just in operations of our business, but primarily being an ambassador for the sport by being the buffer between NHRA and pro racer. He was the driving force behind the Wally Parks Museum. He started the hot rod thing that NHRA did in Bakersfield back in 1992, and he's had a Nitro revival for the last few years in Irwindale, very successful. I don't know if any folks have been to that thing, but it's been great, and they're going to merge this next year. So Steve Gibbs, thank you so much. Plus, he has just been inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, the most prestigious Hall of Fame in our country. Mr. Steve Gibbs.
Oh, thank you, Steve. It's good to be here. I'm from North Carolina, originally up in Franklin, not too far from here, so I'm on home ground. We appreciate this. My bride of 6 weeks, Marge, welcome over here. This is, we're newlyweds. We just got back from Hawaii. But, Marge was my secretary at NHRA in 1971 and 72, and we both lost our mates, and we've reconnected. So life is good. We're doing good. But it's great to be here. J Ed's doing a great job. The nostalgia guys with the cackle cars, we're trying to keep it going. But God, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. J Ed, thank you.
Okay, we've got 3 more awards, and there's a couple of hot rod awards here. Longest distance appearing hot rod, Tom Placus. Tom, are you here? Come on up. Tell me about your car and where you're from.
I'm originally from New York. You can tell by this big southern accent, right? Moved to Hendersonville back in '07. Now we live in Rutherford County. The car is a 35 Oldsmobile business coupe. That's street rotted, so good little car. We drove, I don't know, maybe a little over an hour and 15 to get here today.
Great. Big hand for Tom. So, best appearing hot rod. This is a 55 Chevy, and it's Rodney Presnell. Rodney, are you here?
I'm here.
Come on. Tell us about your car, Rodney.
That's a 55 Chevrolet Bel Air sedan. Bought locally from my wife, bought it from her cousin, and then expected me to build it. Brought it home about 4 years ago. It took about a little better than 3 years to build it. A guy named Jack Weston built it for me, and he passed a few months ago.
Well, that's a great honor. Congratulations.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Rodney. We've got one more low car award, and this is for best engineering. And this goes to our friend Greg Barta, who owns 2 of the most famous, maybe 3 or 4 of the most famous cackle cars in the country right now. This goes to the famous Tom Hoover car, which has a lot of connection to this place that we are right now, because there's a lot of Tom Hanna in that car. Greg, come here. Tell us a little bit.
Well, never expected an award here today, but appreciate it. It's an honor to come down to J Ed's show my cars, and hopefully we can continue to do this for many years.
Thank you. Greg Barta. All right. One of the best parts of any Horton Race Cars barbecue is the food. And we're going to get to that first, but first, let's have a blessing. Fred?
Lord, let us be thankful for another day, thankful for what you put here for us, and not take it for granted. Bless the ones that paid, prepared, and placed the food on the table. Be with them. Give us all travel mercy home, Lord. Thank you for all you do. Amen.
Before we eat, I think we ought to have one short word from our host here, Mr. J Ed Horton. Come here. This is the reason right here, folks.
Well, this started out a long time ago in the 70s, racing after Blaney. There was nothing to do, so we started having a party at the pool party. That evolved. Then we started having a shop party, and that started to that. And then when Matt acquired this place, we decided to move it up here. We can play a lot bigger area and a lot more people. So here we are. Glad you could make it.
All right, folks, let's eat.
I remember the first time I did it, it was warm in New York, and it was like a snowstorm.
Purple gonna get all kinds of good stuff. Purple, so he'll have all kinds of good stuff in about a week on it. Did you go on his website?
No.
Oh, you going on Aaron? Oh.
the mag switch down. All right, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Right.
That was
I didn't want to run
awesome.
it too long. We got quite a few cars.
well, I've always kind of been a hero, you know.